The 1000th episode of the MMA Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by Chalkx. Make real money predicting sports. Chalkx is available in all 50 states, and you get $20 free with promo code SGPN. Chalkx, promo code SGPN.
Ho degenerados, welcome to episode 1000 of the MMA Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network. That's dedicated to anyone who's ever checked out this podcast. Thank you. As someone says on another podcast, we wouldn't have a show without you. Something like that. I think he says something like that. Anyhow, I am this is a normal episode. We're not going to do anything special. Gumby and I don't like attention, so which is strange for the job we do, but regardless, I am the Kitchener Terror. Yes, Jeff Fox with me. Danny Gumby, Vreeland, the only man who has been on every episode of this year podcast, all 1000. He's podcast takes priority over everything in his life, and we appreciate that from him. If anyone has watched, or I guess you couldn't have watched because we weren't YouTube the first half or whatever. But if you have checked out every episode of our podcast, check us out. Hit us up, let us know. I doubt there's anyone sick enough that have done that, but you never know. Hello, Gumby. Thank you for coming on this journey with me. 1000 episodes.
1000 episodes. Can you name co-hosts that weren't you /
yes.
Any episodes you were not here? Who else has appeared?
Okay, you did solo a couple times.
I did solo a lot of times, surprisingly.
Yeah. Contavious Caldwell Pope.
Yes, KCP. Kurt Chase Patrick is the actual person. Yeah, Kurt Chase Patrick, MMA analyst / jiu-jitsu
you had someone else
black belt. I think I've had two others who've shown up for at least.
Really? Okay, mention them and I'll see.
Lucas Grandsire, I'm pretty sure did an episode with me.
Really?
Yeah. Do you remember Lucas Grandsire? Who I don't think even covers MMA anymore. He's a French dude who used to cover for Score MMA.
You let a French person come on our show?
Yeah, I mean, I think he was French and Canadian and
even worse.
A big thick French accent. So I was I'm already doing it with Canadians. It's fine.
Anyhow, I don't know if that was our show. I'm searching in our podcast. I don't see him, but anyhow,
I definitely did. I think I did.
I think I might have been your other show.
And then there was one other. One other guy who I did. Oh, Ryan Jarrell did a show with me too one time when I needed to fill in.
You sure about that?
I'm 100% sure about that one. That one I could tell for sure because he was also he did a UFC episode with me and he was supposed to do the Road to the UFC episode immediately after because you were on a cruise or some you're gallivanting around and not doing your job. And he did back out of the Road to the UFC episode and was like, dude, I think you're gonna have to do this alone. I don't know anything about what I'm looking at from a betting perspective. And I was like, that's respect. Knowing the UFC already kind of a tough game when you're breaking down MMA, knowing Road to the UFC, especially off the cuff. I was just asking him to do it spur of the moment, is a big ask. So I know for a fact Ryan Jarrell did one. I know for a fact Kurt Chase Patrick did, I think, a dozen or so of them. I want to say Lucas Grandsire is
maybe way back.
Fourth co-host way back in the day.
But obviously, he could have just made random picks like I would have done anyhow, right? So that's a perfect person to fill in for me. Someone that doesn't know anything. So anyhow, it's been a fun 1000. Let's do 1,000 more, maybe. We'll see. In the category of we can't have nice things because we're MMA fans, Kayla Harrison out of UFC 324. So
I have a question for you. Here's my question about the Kayla Harrison withdrawal. How long do you think they've known, and do you think they tried to make a big deal out of Izzy Adesanya versus Joe Pyfer because they thought that would soften the blow?
Maybe
they were like, look at this big announcement. Come look at this. And they made the big announcement, and that's what it was. And that's not a small announcement. Izzy Adesanya versus Joe Pyfer is a main event. It's a worthy announcement. But they were like, look, it's big and shiny. Check this out. And then casually kind of dropped the next day on a slower media day. Also, we don't have a main event, really. We have
an interim title fight for a main event. So
I kind of feel like they knew, and this was the Band-Aid.
Yeah, it looks like they're just going to postpone it. They're not going to, obviously, there's no one else.
Yeah, it's going on the White House card. Yeah, it's going on the White House card, obviously.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, right. Hooray. Yeah.
Obviously.
Yeah. So that's
it's
fun.
Making my Amanda Nunes future pick look very juicy at plus 350
though. Really?
Hurt neck. She's gonna get one fight and no other fights. Like she's probably just gonna fight in like July, and you can give me one win and she doesn't have to defend it.
Well, you think Nunes is gonna win though? That's the key here.
But like, okay, so her money line right now is what? 55. You can double that by taking the future.
Yeah, it's true.
And like that's probably the only fight she needs to win.
Yeah. Or does Kayla just not fight all year? I guess
this is banged up now. Like, do you really want somebody with a messed up neck who is old? Somebody who hits harder than anybody she's ever fought?
Yeah.
I don't want that.
It's true. It's true. It is true. All right, enough UFC. KSW is what today's all about. KSW 114 is what episode 1000 is all about. They have an event going down, obviously, in Radom, Poland. So this is going to be a perfect episode for you. Gumby's going to give you winning plays. Perfect for episode 1000. Winning plays from Gumby, and now I'm going to butcher a bunch of Polish names. Right? That's what this show's all about right there, man. It's so many interesting names in this card. All right, we should probably dive into it. Reminder though, new year, new gear. Let's not forget about this. The SGPN merch store has a bunch of new items for the new year. And right now, get 10% off everything with promo code 2026. So go to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/store 2026 at checkout. Check out the MMA Gambling Podcast gear. And obviously all the shows have gear, as does the network in general. So check it out. All right, 10% off. We're so generous. All right, let's check out KSW. Overall thoughts on this here fight card, Gumby. We got a title at top of the card. Some interesting fighters, some fun names to say.
Yeah, we got a former UFC fighter. We got a former champ. We've got Parnasse, who tried to be a Did he try to be a triple champ in KSW? He tried to be a triple champ and failed. Against another UFC event. We got two UFC events, I guess. Yeah, it's like a fun enough card. Plenty of notable names on here. People who I didn't have to do too much digging on because I was already semi-familiar with most of them. So, yeah, I would say that's usually the sign of a pretty good regional card.
You got it. KSW always has lots of nice bells and whistles as well. So it's always a fun promotion to check out. So it's KSW 114, Parnasse versus Held, Radom, Poland. I'm probably saying that wrong too somehow. Saturday, a 1 p.m. start time. KSW website, ksw.tv or kswtv.com, something like that. It's where you can purchase it. It's about like in the low teens, I think, American wise. I think it's like $13-14 per pay-per-view, something like that. If you want to go watch it, Radomski Centrum Sportu in Radom, Poland. 9 fights. We're going to cover more than half of them in full, and then we've got a few select choices to go with for the lightning round. All right, we are starting with fun name one. Piotr, I can say that pretty good. Kacprzak,
Kacprzak.
Wojciech, Kazieczko. Kazieczko. I always forget the shush. All right. Anyhow, I'm going to butcher it again as I do the breakdowns, I'm sure. 3 5-minute rounds, 145. And no, it's not an act. You've seen the odds. The odds people will ask if they haven't watched the show for very long. You have seen the odds, right? So we're not.
I have. I've seen the odds.
Yes. Okay. All right. What's the Predator's name again? Kazieczko. Yeah. That's not that hard actually. Kazieczko. Gumby makes it easy. He's the Predator. 6-2, 2 knockouts, 1 submission. I would like more finishes if you're a Predator. He's never been finished himself. 4-2 in KSW. He's won 3 straight. Before that, he lost 2 straight. He's not lost a fight, though, since December 2023. 2-1 is a pro kickboxer, 3 inches taller than whoever he's fighting, plus 163. I can't remember what you said already. Kacprzak. It's not even hard. In my head, I can do it. Kacprzak, 12-6, 3 knockouts, 5 submissions, but knocked out 3 times, submitted once. 3-2 in KSW. He has lost 2 straight. Gone 3-3 over his last 6. Regional champ. Used to fight up at 155. 2-inch reach advantage. Minus 180.
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised by the odds here because I'm going to take Kazieczko. I'm going to take an underdog right out of the gate. The big reason why is, look, I looked at what was wrong with both of these fighters when you break them down, and the answer is pretty obvious. Like, both of them kind of suffer on the takedown defense. Now, on Kacprzak's side, he's got some pretty nice sweeps, and he's done a pretty good job of getting himself on top in a lot of grappling situations. But like, it's never through his initiated grappling. It's usually through him being taken down and then finding a way to the top. With Kazieczko, same thing. Like, he gets taken down a lot. His takedown defense, not stellar. It's actually maybe a little bit better than Kacprzak, because Kacprzak like tries to punch his way out of takedown attempts. You know, like somebody gets in on a single and he's just like punching his head and then like gets taken down because he's not actually defending the takedown. Kazieczko does a little bit of the takedown defense, although he typically winds up on his back. He's quick back to his feet, though. So for me, when I looked at those two, I was like, okay, well, regardless of which one of these two decides to grapple, if either of them decides to grapple, this is a fight that's going to be decided on the feet and who's the better striker. And I do think that that's Kazieczko. Like, when I was watching their fights, the big difference maker for me was the way that they develop range. While each of them is their own thing that they're good at on the feet, Kazieczko like seems to be bouncy and like really understand range well. You can see him sort of picking his opponents off in a lot of situations, particularly like his like earlier regional fights. That was like his style. Whereas Kacprzak, on the other hand, like I've seen him come up really short on a lot of early strikes in the fight. Like, it takes him a while to sort of understand where he thinks that defense is and where he thinks that his offense is, for that matter, too. So like, it seems like it takes him a long time to figure it out, whereas Kazieczko just seems to have a sense for it. And if this fight is going to, you know, in my opinion, probably entirely or close to entirely be decided on the feet, even if it doesn't all take place on the feet, I think it will be decided on the feet. I think Kazieczko's ability to develop range and understand where he is in that fight is going to be a big difference maker. And as a result, I'm going to go with him as a slight underdog here.
There you go. You got underdog play. You got a detailed breakdown. You got me butchering names. That's everything. That's everything you could hope for. Yeah, exactly. We're going to a 212-pound catchweight bout next. Ibragim Chuzhigaev. He is from Turkey. See, Turkish names I can do. Maciej Różański. I guess I can do that too. He's from Poland. They're fighting 3 5-minute rounds. As I said, 212 because this is a short notice fight for the one gentleman. That would be Różański. He's Spartan, 15-6, 2 knockouts, 9 submissions. He's never been finished as well. 1-on-1. That means he's durable. 1-on-1 KSW. Short notice fight for him. He's won 1 of 3. He did lose his last bout. He went 1-2 in Bellator, RIP. Regional champ, used to fight at 185, 2008 pro MMA debut, 2 inches taller than Chuzhigaev, 2-inch reach advantage, plus 190. Chuzhigaev, the million first. What does that mean, Gumby?
I have no idea.
Good, neither do I. Someone in Turkey, let us know. Or maybe someone, maybe you don't have to be in Turkey to know this. The million first is the nickname. 19-6, 8 knockouts, 4 submissions. Knocked out 1, submitted twice. 3-1 KSW, the former champion of the promotion. He's won 10 of 11. Got TKO'd in his last belt, though. Used to fight at 185, 2012 pro MMA debut. 2 years younger on Różański, minus 250. So last fight was where he lost his belt, right?
No, I think they stripped him because he said he was leaving and then he didn't actually leave and he came back. I think he lost it in the office.
You're right.
So. Yeah, and so I'm going Chuzhigaev. I think kind of his last loss a little bit on the flukier side, but even in that regard, I think he's got so many advantages here over Różański. I think, actually, to be completely honest, the odds are a little misleading. I think this could be negative 400 Chuzhigaev instead of negative 250. If you watch Różański, first of all, he has fought a higher level of competition. I will give him that. He's got some Bellator names on. Was it Bellator or PFL or PFLator, whatever it was that he fought for a little bit? Or
Bellator.
At least Bellator. Okay. And I'm thinking back to the Carl Moore fight, and Carl Moore, respectable name on that circuit. But in the same sense, like, I went back and I watched that fight, and while Różański is a guy who has decent takedowns, even though I don't really love his control, but like, he has decent takedowns, he spent a lot of that fight against Carl Moore pinned against the cage and not being able to get himself out. And that's an alarming piece against Chuzhigaev, because that's like maybe one of Chuzhigaev's strengths. When he gets into the clinch, he's working you up against the cage. He does a really good job of keeping people there. Nice underhooks. He's got good heavy pressure on top of the arms. Like those types of things bode really well for Chuzhigaev. So for Różański to have already had trouble with that in the past, I like that. And then in addition to that, from range, I actually think I really prefer Chuzhigaev from range as well. Like, he throws these like big kind of loopy hooks. It's sort of what got him caught the last time, is that like maybe they could be crisper or maybe they could be more on point. But at the end of the day, he throws really damaging hooks and he throws them to the body too, which I also like. He's the kind of guy who rips to both levels and does a lot of damage in both of those. And not that Różański doesn't strike well or doesn't get after it either, but like my big issue with him is just like it seems like he's a lot slower than Chuzhigaev, and it seems like a lot of his punches have way less intention than Chuzhigaev. So when you got a guy like Chuzhigaev who like looks like he's trying to hurt you every time you're punching with him, and is better at controlling, versus a guy with Różański who, like, since he's going to be controlled all that time, is going to need to be the guy doing more damage to win a decision. And I just don't think he can do that. So I'm going to take Chuzhigaev, and I do think you're getting a tremendous value at -250.
All right. You don't hear that often. So it's good to know. All right. Million first. Mark it down. All right. We got more winning plays after I tell you about AVO. It's about AVO. Make more money betting sports with AVO. That's AVO. AVO is the best sports betting tool that helps you make a profit every time you decide to place bets. They do this by spotting arbitrage and plus EV opportunities for you faster than the competitors, and they keep you organized in one place. If you're new to arbitrage betting, you're finding opportunities in the market where you can bet both sides to lock in a profit. AVO has the cleanest dashboard, which is always nice. It's super easy to understand and use, but they also teach you how to use it with step-by-step video guides in case you have questions. Just sign up, pick the sports books you use, and let AVO tell you how much to bet to guarantee a profit. Still unsure? Check out their free Discord at AVO Official. That's AVO Official. And see the success people are having for themselves. Get started now at avo.bet and use promo code SGPN for $18 off. That's avo.bet, promo code SGPN for $18 off. And Kalshi is a real money prediction market, legal in all 50 states. In all 50 states, you can trade tons of markets in sports, including NFL, college football, college basketball, NBA, NHL, and more. Plus, you can even trade props like first touchdowns. Besides sports, they have tons of other markets, including politics, entertainment. Hell, they even have the weather. Kalshi, you can trade anything. Check out Gumby's articles on sportsgamblingpodcast.com. He writes articles on some of the things you can trade there. And new Kalshi customers get $20 when they use promo code SGPN. So it's Kalshi, Kalshi, promo code SGPN. Heading on back. Third from the top, Gumby's like, oh, she's in KSW now. Tamires Vidal. You didn't know she had signed with KSW. She is making her debut. She's from Brazil. Wiktoria Czyżewska. Is that right?
Czyżewska.
Yeah, there you go. She's from Poland. If you couldn't guess already. Victoria with a W, of course. 3 5-minute rounds, 135. Vidal, Tractor. They like those tractors in Brazil. She's 7-4, 1 knockout, 2 submissions. She's been knocked out once, submitted twice. This is her debut, as I said. She's lost 3 straight, 2 straight via finish. She's not fought since October 2024. She's not won since November 2022. She went 1-3 in the UFC, but most importantly, she's a former Samurai Fight House champion. Used to fight at 145, an inch of height, 2-inch reach advantage over Czyżewska plus 320. Czyżewska Chikatoro, of course, is her nickname, naturally. A 6-1 with 4 knockouts. She's been knocked out once. 5-1 KSW. She's won 4 straight. She's not lost since August 2023. Used to fight at 125. 6 years younger than Vidal, minus 450.
I'm actually going to go underdog here. And I don't know if it's a like for Tamires Vidal so much as it is I ain't laying that price on Czyżewska. And, you know, it's not all about just like, you know, fading the person who's negative 500 that you don't really like here. But like Tamires Vidal fought like a pretty damn good level of competition in the UFC. And I know she kind of gets hated on for her time in the UFC. She finished 1-3. Her only win was Ramona Pasquale, who like had a very forgettable UFC career in her own right. But do remember that, like, you know, the Samurai Fight House Championship did come against Aileen Perez.
That's right.
Which is, you know, not nothing, although I think it was a DQ, but like in that fight, she had exceptional like cage control. And when we think about like what's really good about Aileen Perez, if we can say such words.
No, she's good now. Haven't you heard?
I still don't really know. But like if we're asking ourselves like what's really good about Aileen Perez, it's like her control and her wrestling, right? So to see Tamires Vidal like sort of get the best of her, granted it was a few years ago, it does show you that like while Vidal did not use her like cage control and her like, you know, sort of bully tactics in her UFC career all that much, they're in there. And when you look at Czyżewska, like, two things stand out to me in terms of why I would want to fade her. The first one just being like, she is extremely hittable. Go back and watch her last fight. She got stunned like 3 or 4 times in that fight. Like, she got stumbled once or twice. She got put to her butt. And like, she came out on top at the end. So I guess, like, at the end of the day, like, you know, give her flowers or whatever. But like, it is alarming that, like, at a lower level of competition, she's getting stunned. And like, look, Vidal, whether or not you liked her stint in the UFC or you respected her loss to Jocelyn Edwards, like, she did hit a flying knee KO in the UFC to the body. Like, she does have some pretty surprisingly strong striking from time to time. And if, like, it winds up being that she can, like, bully Czyżewska in the clinch as well, there's really, like, a lot of avenues for her to win this fight. And I think that's why I like a stab in the dark here on her at plus 320 is, like, she does have big power. She's fighting somebody who's hittable. There's one avenue. You know, she's got good control against the cage. There's another avenue. Like I just think there's, like, a lot of different ways she can either win rounds or I mean, I don't know necessarily that she'll stop Czyżewska, but, like, I think that avenue's there for a win too. So at plus 320, when you're able to draw that many paths to victory, I think you got to take a stab on it. So give me Tamires Vidal.
I would argue it's not a stab in the dark because you just gave us a bunch of reasons why.
Why it's a stab in the light.
There you go. Yeah. Can we talk about Ramona Pascal? Oh my God.
It was a really bad UFC career.
He was horrible.
It like,
how did she get to the UFC?
She got in there. She got in there.
She won a road. She won an Invicta fight, which is crazy.
Yeah, but it was against that really late notice replacement who had been working media for a minor league organization. Well, give me the name. Give me the name.
Shamir
Peshawa. Yeah. She used to do all of the, like, media for Valor fights. You remember Valor fights?
Yeah.
Because I used to have to work with her when I, like, helped cover Valor fights. And she's, like, super nice, but she had, like, maybe not been training for that fight for more than, like, 2 days. And, like, still it was competitive. So, like, and somehow that got Ramona Pascal to the UFC.
Yeah. Well, we shouldn't slander the fine woman, but yeah. She was kind of rough to watch. But anyhow, Gumby's picking the person that beat her only UFC fights. There you go. All right, before we give you more underdog plays, perhaps we're going to talk about Underdog Fantasy. Underdog is your home for pickup entries where you can win up to 5,000 times your entry. Underdog is bringing the playoff magic all playoffs along. Every playoff weekend, open the Underdog app to see what promos are waiting for you. Gumby has got a play for you right now.
Yeah, so you're not going to get this before the Wednesday basketball game. So I'm going to kick it over to Thursday's basketball games. And of course, you know, I like to play with Jeff's Phoenix Suns, and they're playing the Detroit Pistons on Thursday. I'm officially off of Dylan Brooks. Get that. I'm officially off of Dylan Brooks. I'm in on their newest 3-point merchant, Royce O'Neal. Royce O'Neal, we're going to say higher than 2.5 3-pointers on Thursday. He's had at least 4 in 4 of the last 5 games, which is pretty ridiculous. And look, the Suns are going to be trailing the entire time in this one. So give me the higher than on Royce O'Neal's 3-pointers.
He said the name right. It's not Hoyce for you.
Yeah, it's not Hoyce.
Underdog's got a brand new offer for new customers. Play just $5 to get $75. That would be in bonus funds when you sign up with our code MMASGPN. And Rhythm, RITHMM, Rhythm has crushed NFL this season, especially on props. Last season, they were even better in the playoffs. Try like 9-4 on rushing yard props. It's super easy to sign up, run predictions off the house model, or make your own and play with these sliders. Gummy's going to give you another play. I'm putting him on the spot here again.
Sure. Yeah, we got the Suns and the Pistons on Thursday. Lay the points with the Pistons because, they give up a pretty low percentage of 3-point attempts. And you got Grayson Allen, Dylan Brooks, Royce O'Neal just going to be firing off 800 times. If they don't shoot a high percentage, this is going to turn into a blowout. So give me the Pistons laying the points.
All right. Looking to go premium, use promo code SGPN25 when you download the Rhythm app for 25% off your first month. So download Rhythm, RITHMM, and the promo code is SGPN25. All right. We have got 2 fights left. I did the ad read 1 fight early, but that's okay. Heavyweights in the co-main event. I like the first name here. Arkadiusz. Is that his first name? Arkadiusz. Good name. Wrzosek. Oh, yeah, that's right. Wrzosek. Szymon Bajor, or is it Bajor?
I think it's Bajor.
Bajor. So Bajor, Wrzosek, they're fighting heavyweight, 3 5-minute rounds. We will tell you about Bajor. First, 26-12, 10 knockouts, 10 submissions. He's been knocked out 3 times, submitted 3 times. 4-4 in KSW. 1-2 over his last 3, 2-3 over his last 5. He won his last belt, though. He's a regional champ, or was a regional champ. 2010 pro MMA debut, plus 230. Wrzosek Hightower is the nickname. 6-1, 4 knockouts, 1 submission. He's been submitted once. He also has some rounds here. All those fights are taking place in KSW. Submission loss came in his last bout. 9-3 with 1 no contest in kickboxing, where he won multiple championships. I'm thinking it's easier to get championships in kickboxing, or Muay Thai, because everyone.
I think it's way easier in Muay Thai than kickboxing. But yeah, I hear you.
They'll fight once and they'll have like 3 titles somehow. One though is a pro boxer, 4 years younger than Bajor, 5 inches taller, 6-inch reach advantage. So I'm going to pick him. Minus 325.
I'm going to pick him too. And it's 6-1. Talking about coming off of a submission loss, and you might have questions like, "Oh, this is grappling our end. He's a kickboxer, and he just lost by submission." Did you happen to catch the submission loss to who it was? It's Phil DeFries. It's Phil DeFries, right. The best heavyweight not in the UFC.
Yeah, he fought for the belt. That's right.
One of the best guys in the UFC, or not in the UFC right now, period. It's like him and Will Fleury is 1 in 1A right now. So, Wrzosek having lost to him and having struggled with his takedowns, like I think is excusable at this point. And when you watch Wrzosek, you mentioned the size, but like the knees and the clinch, the striking from distance, the speed at heavyweight, all of those are really dangerous things. And when you look at Bajor, not particularly good takedown defense in his own right. I don't trust him to hit his own takedowns. He slows down really quickly, like his cardio, even for a heavyweight who's not like, he's not like a chunky heavyweight, but he like slows down like one, and he's got his own things that he can do on the feet. But for a guy who, maybe needs to get his hands going to really win this fight, fighting a kickboxer who's like bouncy and can knock him out at any time. Yeah, I'm going to take the quick, fast kickboxer every single day. So give me Wrzosek here. If you don't like that number, I mentioned before when we were talking about Chuzhigaev, how I thought negative 250 was kind of a steal. Maybe roll Wrzosek and him together in a parlay. Take that instead.
I was going to suggest that. So that's good. We're thinking the same thing here. So yeah, very, very good play. All right. Main event, KSW lightweight championship. Salahdine Parnasse, or is it Parnasse? It's Parnasse, right? He's French.
He's French. I don't know. You probably don't say any of those letters if I had to guess, actually, because he's French.
Marcin Held. I know that name. Marcin Held. It's an easy Polish name. French fighter versus a Polish fighter. 5 5-minute rounds, 155. I should know how to say his name. Since he's probably one of the best fighters not in the UFC currently, right?
Yeah. I mean, he's amazing. Yeah.
Yep. All right. We'll tell you about Held first. The challenger. Oh, yeah, this is for the lightweight championship. I think I said that. Anyhow, Held, 31-10, 4 knockouts, 16 submissions. He's been knocked out twice, submitted once. I guess that's pretty durable. 41 fights, 3-1 KSW. He's won 3 straight, though, and he's done 4-3 over his last 7. He's not lost since December 2023. He went 11-3 in Bellator, RIP. He won one of their tournaments back in the day. 1-3 in the UFC.
That. That's wild.
Yep. 1-3 in the UFC, 2-2 in PFL. 2008 pro MMA debut, 5-5-4 for his grappling results that we have results for, plus 450. The champ, he doesn't need a nickname, just call him champ. 21-2, 6 knockouts, 7 submissions. He's been knocked out once. 13-2 in KSW. He is the champ at 155, 3 successful title defenses already. He also is the featherweight champion currently. He's won 3 straight fights, all via TKO. He's not lost since December 2023. That was when he went up to welterweight to try to become a 3-division champ. Didn't work out. 2015 pro MMA debut, 1-0 as a pro boxer, 1-0-1 in custom fights. You can use your imagination as to what that is. They were in China, I think, too. So who knows what they could have been. 5 years younger than Held, an inch taller, 2-inch reach advantage. Minus 649.
Yo, his Bellator career was crazy. He was in 3 of the early tournaments. In the first one, he was eliminated by Michael Chandler. In the second one, he beat Rich No Love Clemente in the semifinals. Yeah. And in the third one, he won the tournament by beating Patricky Pitbull.
Pretty good. I remember watching those too.
That's like I don't think I remember. I think I maybe remember the Rich Clemente one because that was after he had gotten fired by the UFC, if I'm not mistaken. That was post UFC, not pre UFC.
Yeah, I think it was.
And as good as Marcin Held's long career looks, it's part A's here. You've seen me get excited about a plus 500 underdog before. I won't do it here. Parnasse, I mean, he's just too good in too many different ways. And like at this stage in his career, Marcin Held is extremely one-dimensional. He was once upon a time, you could say maybe 2 dimensions if you want to give him wrestling and jiu-jitsu as 2 different dimensions. But he was always kind of a terrible striker. He wasn't much of a game planner. Like if you want to go back to that fight, was it him that got knocked out by Damir Hadžović when he like rolled for an Imanari roll despite being up 2 rounds?
Yeah,
do you remember that?
That does sound right. Let me see if you were right here.
Yeah, I think it was him that I watched up 2 rounds.
Yeah, you're right.
Against Damir Hadžović, and he went for an Imanari roll and just ate a knee on the way to the Imanari roll and got knocked out. And I was like, literally, he could circle for 5 minutes and win that fight. And instead, he did that. So, you know, like he's always just kind of been the jiu-jitsu guy who needs to get his jiu-jitsu going to win. He's used to have wrestling to go along with it. Doesn't really have it anymore. Parnasse, I mean, like really good wrestler, good with the foot sweeps, infinitely better when it comes to striking. And his jiu-jitsu is kind of sick, like especially like back takes and stuff like that. And while I haven't seen Parnasse like have to really defend a lot of jiu-jitsu, like even when he was losing in the grappling, when he went up to welterweight to try to win that title, I mean, like it wasn't really jiu-jitsu. He was like getting out wrestled, but like even like with all the offense we've seen from him, you have to kind of assume the defense will come with it. I have to imagine he's got submission defense well enough that like he's just going to punish Held if he rolls for an Imanari roll, like he's going to eat hammer fists or something like that. Like this should be a one-sided beatdown. Held getting a little bit of his grappling going would make it fun to watch, but this is Parnasse's fight.
How about Parnasse via knockout or TKO if you can get it somewhere? Can you get?
You know what? I'm actually kind of interested. So sometimes you can get props. I'm actually kind of interested about him possibly submitting Held.
Oh wow! Look,
because Held is going to do a better
number for sure.
Yeah, Held is going to do a lot of desperate things, and that's sort of what I mean. Is that like, but the real thing is like play the under. The under you'll be able to find out there. Whether or not you'll be able to find some significant finish props. You probably won't, but you'll find the under, and Parnasse is going to hit that for you. So, Parnasse here.
All right. Excellent. Let's give you a recap, but we got more plays. Don't you go away. Parnasse, let me lock you in. Parnasse, you're locked in. Wrzosek, Vidal, Chuzhigaev, and Kazieczko. I already forgot. Kazieczko? Kazieczko. Of course, it's a zhoosh sound. I always forget to do. All right, Gumby, lightning round. You got about 4 fights left. Anything you like, Zap Bam Boom Pow?
There's 2 that I dug in there and got. I'm going to take Henry Fadip. He's a Nigerian fighter who has kind of a shoddy looking record when you look at it on the surface. But when you dig deep and you look at like the level of competition he's fought some pretty tough people and had some pretty competitive fights for it. And you can get him, last I checked, at like underdog price. So like, you know, he might be a guy who, if you're looking for a little value or you're going to be watching the whole card and you want some action early on, Henry Fadip might be one guy you're looking for. And then a guy to maybe spruce up your parlays, Alexander Moisa. He's a kickboxer out of Ukraine. Really, really, really tough guy. Kind of one-dimensional, but he's earlier on in his career and he's getting a good matchup here. So once again, that's Moisa and Fadip are my 2 lightning round plays. All
right. You're set for KSW 114. You can check us out in the Discord, sportsgamblingpodcast.com/Discord, YouTube MMA Gambling Podcast. In the comments, obviously, comment away. What's the other thing called? X, Twitter X, SGPN MMA. That's Gumby. And Gumby runs that, but he's also at Gumby Vreeland. I'm at Jeff Fox Writer, at Jeff Fox Writer on Instagram. I got a Substack, moneymma.substack.com for more MMA writing and stats and stuff, and a pick'em contest for the UFC once the UFC's done their off season. Gumby has a podcast called the Top Turtle MMA Podcast. Tell the people about it, Gumby.
Yeah, you're going to get a couple of guys on Fury FC, which we're going to be covering tomorrow. I got Abdul Kamara, who is defending his belt, and Tonio Figueiredo, who is fighting for the vacant belt at Fury.
So check it out. We're going to talk about Fury tomorrow, as Gumby said. And what else can you do? You can check us out at sportsgamblingpodcast.com, sportsgamblingpodcast.com/store. Remember, checkout 2026 will get you 10% off. sportsgamblingpodcast.com/Patreon for bonus content. Back tomorrow, it'll be Chikatoro, Jeff Fox, Hightower, Vreeland. We'll talk to you then. Bye-bye.